Okay, now we're going to talk about these amazing analog effects. First, let's get a decent sound. There, now it's acting like a vintage synthesizer. We're going to talk about these analog effects over here. The analog effects are based on a traditional bucket brigade device situation, and they're completely analog, which is what separates the MatrixBrute from many other analog synthesizers, is the fact that it actually has analog effects, which is amazing. And so let's dive right in. To turn the effects on, all you have to do is adjust the dry wet setting. Very nice sounding. Okay, so this first effect is the stereo delay, and as you can tell, it is stereo. A rare thing on automatic gainsay to have an actual stereo audio feed, so that's exciting. And of course, to affect any of these effects, I'm sorry, that was a terrible thing to say. To control these effects, we have several knobs here that help us shape the delays that they actually are. Okay, so first, delay time, pretty self-explanatory. And regeneration allows us to feed the delay back into itself, which means it'll have more iterations of the sound. So it has a fair amount of regeneration. And yes, since this is analog delay, you can force the regeneration to cause a massive feedback loop at the delay time. It's a little bit obnoxious, but I can't get enough of that sound. I think that is so cool, and it makes me so happy. And I'm going to show you what you can do with that a little bit later using the Matrix. Over here we have a tone rate knob. Tone basically allows you to embrace the joy of analog delay, which is the degradation of sound. It's kind of a low-pass filter that is happening on the sound as the echoes occur. It allows you basically to take some of the brightness off the echoes so they don't interfere with what you're actually playing. And then the final knob here, which is width depth. Width on many of these settings is your stereo field. So if you have the width all the way to the left on the stereo delay, it's not in stereo. But as you spread it out, so that is our stereo delay. And keep in mind that if you were to suddenly just head right into the sequence thing we haven't talked about, and you were suddenly to record a part, and then you were to play that back. And you were to press sync. You'd be able to sync the delay to the matrix, to the sequencer. So keep that in mind in regard to these effects. They can be synced to the tempo or the rhythm that you're playing. So that's super awesome. Oh, we've got the sequencer actually on. Let's turn that off. Okay. So let's hear the mono delay. It's basically the same thing as the stereo delay, but it does not go stereo. The width depth knob does not do anything on mono delay. Okay, next is chorus. Now the chorus is still a delay, but it's an LFO modulated delay. Whoa. Okay, let's turn down the depth and the rate a little bit. Yeah, so you could get a lot of interesting, more delay-oriented effects, or you can generate more of a normal chorus sound. When you're when you're using the chorus, this becomes a rate knob, affecting the rate of the LFO modulation that's happening. And the width depth knob becomes a depth of the LFO modulation that's occurring. So you can, that's where you really start to hear the chorus effect sound like a chorus effect. And you can get some pretty cool effects by turning the knobs. It's a really unique and cool effect. But really, if you're just playing and you'd really like to sort of thicken up a sound and sort of give it some really warm and broad character, the chorus is fantastic. And you can back it off so it's more subtle. But it's a really beautiful sound. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and then you have a flanger, which is also the same sort of LFO modulated delay effect, but the times are shorter. And you can get some feedback effects. Really nice sounding flanger effect. And then we come to reverb, which is actually called the Reverberator. It's not technically, I mean, it is, as reverb is made up of a delay in itself. Well, let's just listen to it. It's really interesting. We're back to the standard settings where depth controls the stereo field. It's so weird. Ooh, feedback. Ooh, that's really interesting. But yeah, these are full-on analog effects that create really natural behaving sort of electronic effect sounds. So yeah, that's the Reverberator. So that gives you a general outline of what these effects sound like. They're really, really warm and kind of messy and pleasing, just like analog should be. And they really can bring a lot of dimension and tone to the sounds that you create. They're a lot of fun. And I need to remind you, let's not forget that if you want to have some real fun, the Matrix can actually control these knobs as well. So we can, for example, set 13 in the assignable column to delay time. And now we can modulate the delay time. Let's do that with the macro knob 1. And we could really have some fun. That's awesome. Let's be obnoxious and control regeneration with 2. Macro knob 2. Yeah, so again, it's not just an effect. We can dive right into voltage control and synthesis with these effects as part of the overall synthesizer, because yeah, sure, I'm real-time controlling these with knobs, but you can also control these effects with envelopes or with LFOs. So you can get just infinite outcomes, incredible possibilities, just by using the Matrix to control these beautiful, warm, analog BBD effects.